COBALT8 music gear, synthesizer and music production. And here are your hosts, the Moogulator and Dean Freud.
Hello and welcome to the COBALT8 number 64. Wow. Okay. How you doing, everyone? This time in English, and we have also our lovely host Moogulator.
Hi everyone.
I'm Dean, and today we have a special guest, Christian from Modal Electronics, and then Tom from Synth Anatomy. Hey
everyone.
You're muted, Tom.
Hello.
Fine. Cool. We have a new synth around today. The COBALT8. Very fine. We will give you a sneak overlook in a few minutes. But before we start, Christian, would you introduce yourself? You are the head of marketing of Modal now?
Yes. Well, actually, I had the fortune to work with a couple of prestige companies in the past. Some names might sound familiar, like Elisa, Sakai Professional. I was with Music Group for quite some time, as well as with Universal Audio. And since March this year, I have the pleasure to work with Modal Electronics and help to orchestrate all the marketing efforts within the company. Yeah, that's true.
Cool, fine. And I heard you are also a German, and especially from Thuringia, from Erfurt.
Yeah, we had yesterday in the preset of our live stream today. We had talked about this because I just thought that your dialect sounds very familiar to me. And we just found out that we are basically from the same area. And it was actually made me a little bit more excited about the live stream today.
Fine. Mick, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. And then I'm from the golden western part of Germany.
Okay.
So hi to the east, or maybe like this.
Tom, how are you doing tonight?
Fine.
Today.
A bit exhausted by the work actually, because there are tons of new synths, but I'm fine. From the lovely Austria.
Yeah, cool. So, Christian, you work for Modal now quite time. Modal is around since 2007?
No, it's not quite correct. The company actually is now 7 years old. It was founded in 2013. And basically, what Modal actually is, it's a very small company compared to the bigger companies that are in the synth market, like Korg or Roland or Yamaha. But what is very exciting about this company is that it consists out of very passionate young musicians that are thriving to design the synthesizers that they can't buy in the stores. So the development team actually exists in its current form since almost the entire 7 years. And over the last couple of years, the company took a couple of efforts to establish a better sales and marketing force. And that's why we are now there where we can really do these big product launches like we did today with COBALT8.
Yeah, cool. Modal 8 seems a little bit familiar with the Argon 8.
Is it Argonate or is it Argon 8?
It's based on the elements.
Whatever you prefer, Argon 8 and Cobalt 8. Yeah, so basically there are similarities, of course, if you look at the enclosure, and it makes totally sense because platforms are very common all over the place. If you look a lot, on big car manufacturers like Volkswagen or Audi, they are developing platforms and they're using certain parts of the platforms in many different products. And we got such an overwhelming feedback on the Argon 8 chassis and on the build quality that we thought, why should we reinvent the wheel? You know, we think it's a perfect package for a synthesizer, It allows us also, especially during these difficult times with interrupted supply chains, to develop products very fast.
And there's just have a look at it at this. This is the Argon 8 or Argon 8, and this is the new one, which looks quite like the same. So you have to we have to clear this up. There was the Scalp and the other one, the smaller ones.
We had we had a couple of smaller synths. So when we are going back when we are going back in history, so there were this very prestigious synths like the 002, the 008, and the 001, and then we started to develop the smaller synths, the craft synths, the craft rhythm, as you might remember, and later on we came up with the craft synths 2 and the Scalp. So basically, Argon 8 and Cobalt 8 appear to be very similar from the outside. The inside is of course different because the synthesis engines are working in a different way, and that's why it is not directly comparable. Also, if you look at the wavetable synthesis in Argon 8, and if you look at the extended VA synthesis in Cobalt 8, there are main differences between these two devices. They are siblings, but they are not the same.
So the main difference, of course, is the Argon 8 is a wavetable engine, basically, and this one is more like the Scalp or Scalp. I don't know.
But the Scalp is. But I wouldn't even compare the Scalp with the Cobalt 8 because the Scalp was basically a virtual analog synthesizer. This one, Cobalt 8, is an extended virtual synthesizer, and the extended, the word extended has a meaning because we introduced 34 very unique and innovative algorithms into the sound engine. So when we're just tapping into the sound engine, and I don't know, Tom, you can maybe show something on the display as well. Yeah, so basically we have two independent oscillator groups. Each of these oscillator groups can have up to 4 oscillators. That means 4 oscillators by 2 oscillator groups means 8 oscillators per voice. We have 8 voices. So 8 true polyphonic voices that adds up to 64 oscillators per voice.
Ah, cool. We will talk about the special algorithms a little bit later, and also questions from the. Yes, we zoom in, and we will show some questions and other things a little bit later. So,
of course, yeah.
the Argon 8 has these two oscillators, and you can blend them like all the other modal synths.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Are you referring to the mixer, to the oscillator mixer?
Yes.
So you can mix between oscillator 1 and 2. Yeah, that's of course a very important part of the synthesizer. So you have this mix knob, as you can see, and you can seamlessly blend between the oscillator group 1 and 2. You can also modulate this with an LFO or with the modulation envelope. So you have a lot of movement right from the oscillator group already. And this makes it very interesting, and also helps to develop and design very interesting sounds.
The filters are 12 dB per octave on the Scalp, but this time it's 24, so it's a 4-pole filter, right?
Exactly, yeah. So this is another differentiator between Argon 8 and Cobalt 8. For the Cobalt 8, we developed a brand new 4-pole ladder filter, morphable ladder filter. It means you can morph between high pass, band pass, low pass. Additionally, we have different filter characteristics. That means more resonant, efficient filter types, and more balanced filter types. So there is a big variety of possible sound textures available.
Ah, cool.
And there is a morph knob there.
Yeah.
It's so you can seamlessly morph from 2 to 4-pole filters like that, or is it morphing from one filter type to another?
It's morphing from one filter type to another. That means you can, for instance, start with a low pass and morph it into a high pass.
Okay, so it's quite like the Scalp, but a bit more of everything.
I mean, the entire filter algorithm is tailored towards Cobalt 8 and to the sound that is created by the oscillator group, and it's a very exclusive filter that we designed for Cobalt 8.
What are the quirks about the filter? What's so different with this ladder filter?
I mean, you have the 2-pole filter on the Argon 8, and you have the 4-pole. That means you have a different filter slew and a filter and a different breaking point in the sound. So a 12 pole, a 12 dB filter, a 2-pole filter filters just not as aggressive as a 4-pole filter would do.
Cool. Now we have a better
now
picture. Now we can look at it on the screen.
So you can choose here the different algorithms. There are 34. But as you also said, you can also mix them here.
This is really crossfading between 2 of them. Like
it's a
really good show. Yes.
Like this one here. Maybe you can move that to this on the left hand side here. This algorithm 1, algorithm 2 mix. That's what where you are right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the morphing with the filter is here. Yeah. If we go up here, can
you adjust the angle of the camera a little bit?
Yep.
You mainly see the keyboard. It's a live show, so please don't hesitate with us. It's not so easy sometimes.
And here you can then morph the filter.
So this, yeah. Let's turn the morph again to see what it really does. So yeah, okay.
It's a real
another filter type, like Christian said.
Yeah.
No, the filter types are different because you can go to do patch and then choose the different types of filter here, from balance, phase, because you have also phase filter, which is quite nice for more for vowel sounds.
Yeah. Thanks for showing this, Tom. I just wanted to mention that.
Okay, fine. Do we have a picture of what kinds of filter types are available? I think. Do we have something?
We have the algorithms. I already have them. Here.
So actually, we have
them here printed.
Yeah, we also have them now on our website.
This is a paperless, real paperless office. And these are the algorithms shown by Tom already. And they are quite a few. You can use one at a time, but there's two algorithms at a time.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have, say, pulse width modulation, or one of these sweeps, sync, or ring modulation.
You get some things like get some really chaotic sounds out of it, what you doesn't know or really expect from a virtual analog synth. Because I had one sound demo in my video, there's a patch inside, it sounds like Super Mario, or like a beat track.
Yeah, I think, the idea behind this is we all, of course, love analog synthesizers, right? So, and analog synthesizers have defined the sound aesthetics over the last 50 years in popular music. When you think about the beginnings, Bob Moog and everything that came afterwards with, the Jupiters and with the Prophets and so forth. As I said, we are always looking to expand on the possibilities, also to provide artists new creative tools to expand on their inspiration, and that's why these algorithms are very powerful to actually go beyond the limits that an analog synthesizer or a traditional virtual analog synthesizer would provide. So the secret is really that you can use these oscillator groups, and both can have different algorithms with different parameter sets, and you can blend them.
This kind of approach reminds me of some newer synth that offer one engine, which is FM or sync or something, like say Klavier A1 or the Microfreak, things like that, and they have one engine, and you switch it to one engine, and it does one thing. And this time we have two of them, and they can be used at the same time. Maybe like the Hydrosynth.
Now, differently, because what we mainly talk now about the algorithms, but what is important to know is that each algorithm has even two parameters. So you can even shape them further. If you take here now the A1, you can shape it even further. You see it here.
Does the sound for the synth now work, or is it all? We had some problems with the getting sound
I
just
into the stream.
So it's
just take one of the sound demos, because I'm still have trouble to get sound in the stream.
Okay.
So it's not really relevant how it sounds this time.
Well, yeah, I mean, actually, it's I would actually argue that it's very relevant because
I think so. Yes.
Because of these two different algorithms that you can use in one patch, you can create very rich and very unique sounds that no other synthesizer is able to generate. So actually,
the people over here are discussing how Moog is pronounced, and we know it's originally Moch, but the son of Moch is could be a Klingon, but this time most of us use Moog. And we all know that. Thank you.
Please excuse, we are all Germans trying to do our best with English.
We are Klingons.
But the good thing is, if you hear some American English, it is not really better in any ways. So I picked some sounds here. Maybe this could work, but these are.
I have a mini sound demo of the oscillators in my demo.
Do you have the video?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you,
okay.
You may be able
it's really
to show it to us.
Spontaneous today, so.
Yeah, at the moment, and if you get in, if it gets dangerous,
I will give you the.
Okay, while Tom is searching.
No, I give you the. You have the video already. In the chat.
In the chat. Okay, fine.
And go to part 3 minutes 28. Then we see it with audio. Of course, these are not all the algorithms because I would need to make a video of 50 minutes to show you all the possibilities.
We have actually also on our website and our YouTube channel a very good overview video that describes and shows a couple of these algorithms and how they work. It's very interesting to see.
Okay, could you talk something?
COBALT8, but you can also create timbres.
It's why
unfortunately, I can't go into details right now.
This what?
23.
Oh, okay.
328.
But here are some mini examples how these sounds.
Okay, you have some tonal things inside.
I think it's adding more voices to.
Yeah.
No, these are the different oscillators. So you can spread actually you can spread the oscillators. You know,
there's up to 8 oscillators per voice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have sync.
Yeah, so it's a function that's called Oscillator Spread. So it is just detuning in the first half value range the oscillators, and then later it goes into musical intervals.
Okay.
I think that
we got it.
That tuning wasn't available on the Scalp, right? I think
you had also kind of a drift parameter and an oscillator spread parameter, but I mean,
They were
now we
quantized.
have, but now we have this with actually algorithms that just eat much more DSP power,
So this
and
has
are much more powerful.
a lot more power compared to the Argonate. It's the same engine, or is it different?
No, well, the synth engine is different, and the voice and the voice engine is different. So I have no information how, in terms of DSP power, these devices relate to each
You
other.
normally get really into nerdy stuff. So there are people over here asking for the processor. Is it an ARM or is it an something else? So
Yeah.
That would be interesting to hear from you, because I think Argon8 has the technology inside. That's the same technology as the Cobalt8 now. That would be interesting to hear.
Well, I'm just reading here because one of our developers is actually helping me out here on the second live
fine.
chat. That's why I'm always looking a little bit. So
We tried to get an actual developer on hand, but it's not quite easy because they are really working hard right now. So please be mindful. Maybe later we can do a follow-up.
Yeah. So what I just hear is that the power resources in Cobalt8 and Argon8 are differently supplied. You know. So for instance, one of the reasons that we can develop a 4-pole ladder filter for the Cobalt8 is that we can dedicate much more power to the filter, to the filter algorithm. But basically, that is a multi-arm engine or DSP engine that is underlaying this. And by the way, Tom, I should say hi from Philip.
Hi. What I want to add here is that some of the algorithms are very wild. I tried to design some sounds, especially these RM feature, the RM3, RM square. These are really wild. They are a bit crazy.
Yeah, these are ring modulating algorithms, and of course, I mean, they are just there to do something that is very unusual and very new and very unique and very creative.
So that's not what people always say. Virtual analog is kind of always the same thing. With these algorithms here, it's not the same thing. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I totally agree. And that was actually our objective to go beyond, the opportunities that you have with traditional synthesizers.
The thing is, it could be also very useful for drum sounds. I think so, because you have different envelopes styles available. And with these oscillator sounds, you could do some really gnarly, nasty stuff with this, I think.
Oh yeah, I would assume so. The thing is, when I'm playing, for instance, with my organ, I'm still impressed how many sonic textures I can get out of it, because it's really unmatched to any other synthesizer that I have owned before. And I think with these two oscillator groups and the 34 algorithms, we are bringing this to an entire new level, and we actually want to inspire sound designers to create these sounds that are not existing yet.
Where's Moogulator gone?
Yeah, he had to restart. He said.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Really funny today. The thing is, what are the difference between the Cobalt and the Scalp? Because the Scalp looks like the little brother for the Cobalt. So,
well, I wouldn't say so, because first of all, the form factor is different. Because one is a portable battery or USB powered synth with 4 voices, and this now is really, you know, a huge major step up. You know, we have 8 voices, we have 64 oscillators, we have a different sound engine. Even though it's virtual analog, it's a different sound engine. You know, so you cannot put a 4 voice Cobalt into a Scalp. That's not possible.
Okay, this is what I want to hear.
Yeah.
That's why. The thing is, you said the Cobalt8 draws much more power to the filter. You can hear that in the sound quality. That's one of the few virtual analog synths I really love to hear, because there are many sounds that I could think to get in my productions, and I think that's the main reason for the Cobalt8 to get really hands-on. It sounds not over massively big, but not really cheap or something. It sounds really to fit good in the mix. I think so.
Well, yeah, yes and no. Actually, one of the things when we came across the filter design is that the developer who designed the filter, he wanted to do it really on point, you know, and we thought it sounds very good, it sounds very clean, but it needs to have a little bit more of this grit, a little bit more of this punch, you know, and that's why we actually changed it again to get it this certain character. So it's a very unique filter that is not able to, or that is not available in any other sense, because we wanted to have a certain character, and also to the different filter types that we are offering, you know, to have something that is offering a really powerful tool to shape the sound. With all the goodness that we have in our tradition, with this morphable characteristic to morph between from high pass to low pass.
And something other comes in mind. It's a virtual analog, rather small, but it's not really cheap. It's not an Mini Nova or the beloved Korg micro. Micro Korg, exactly. So it has only 8 voices, but they are sounding really, really good. So
well,
what was the plan to do this? Because the market is full of crazy products, and this gives a little bit more, I would say, bread and butter sounds on the hand, but you can expand much more from the bread and butter sounds to really cineastic and ambient and sonic possibilities. They are
absolutely. I mean, there are differences. So when we are starting, leaving all the technology that is behind Cobalt8, if we just put this aside, when you compare a synth with mini keys to a key, to a synthesizer with a FATAR keypad with full size keys, so there's a major difference. When you look at all the features that we have with the programmable step sequencer, real-time sequencer, Arpeggiator, Three
By the way,
LFOs.
how does it work to input notes?
Could
on
we
here?
discuss
seen,
a little bit later?
Yeah. Okay.
Because this will
So
took a little bit longer.
Yeah. So actually, we think that the price is actually very interesting. Where you get an 8-voice true polyphonic synthesizer. So it's not a paraphonic or something like that, or a duophonic. It's a true polyphonic synthesizer, and you're paying something like 650 euros or 580 British pounds. It's actually a very attractive package, And then when you put in this new new capabilities with this very powerful oscillator-driven synth engine behind it, then I think many people will totally agree that it is a very compelling price, actually.
Tom, what do you think about it? About the range of pricing and capabilities?
From when I compare it now with an Ovation or with it has a different first of all, it has different build quality.
Okay.
You get, if you take it from the desk here, it's not cheap. It's heavy. It's very heavy.
Okay. What does it weigh?
Because the thing is, I have only the Argon 8 as desktop unit, and it's small and very portable. I never had the Argon 8 as keyboard, and I was very impressed how heavy this unit is.
Yeah, and I mean it's actually a steel actually a steel chassis with an aluminum front panel. So it is really built to perfection, and we have digital encoders because it makes sense for digital synths to have digital encoders.
And the keyboard has aftertouch.
The keyboard has aftertouch. Then we also have, I mean, we haven't talked about so many things yet. We haven't talked about MPE support. We haven't talked about Modal app that is coming free and runs on all popular platforms from Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, iPadOS even, yeah.
And you have the same functionality over all platforms?
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay, this is something rather special because Tomaso, fine. Yes, this is something very, very special because sometimes you have a full-fledged support on the laptop or computer, but not on the mobile devices. There are sometimes a little bit drawn out and not so feature rich.
Yeah. Yeah. So actually, all the functionality is available on the Modal app or the Modal plugin, which runs on VST3 and Audio Unit platforms for all DAWs that are supporting these plugin formats. And but nevertheless, I mean, editing sounds, and maybe Tom, you can just agree with that, please. Editing sounds on the unit itself is so much straightforward because I mean, we have really thought about the user interface for a very long time as we started with Argon, and we adapted just the best from Argon also into Cobalt8.
The interface is a bit smaller on the desktop, and it has double pressing of some knobs.
Yeah.
That's some interface differences to the desktop and to the normal version.
Yeah, you're talking about the Argon 8M.
Yeah. And personally, I love the editor because it makes it even more easier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could it be possible to get a rack version and a bigger version?
That's a very good question. So we launched actually today around noon, and since we have launched, we get so many requests for the desktop/rack version and the version with a larger keyboard. So we are really looking into this, and we hope that we can come up with some good news very soon.
Fine. So what else? How does the MPE works with the Cobalt 8?
First of all, you need an MPE controller, just like the Macmillan controllers or the Sequencer Rise. And then, it's just a simple connection and a simple setup that you need to do with the controller, and then you just set it up, and it basically works out of the box, So it's not magic to set MPE up with. MPE is a functionality that now is with us for a very long time. Scalp has MPE. Scalp is currently the cheapest or the most affordable MPE hardware synthesizer. Argon received MPE with firmware 2.0 that we released in May, as far as I remember. Yeah, and Cobalt8 has MPE right from the start.
Oh, fine. And Mick, what do you think about all the possibilities?
Yeah, I was asking myself when I am interested in looking at the structures and the structure and the where the components are and stuff like that. In the Modal app, when you use it, you need to connect the device, and if you don't see anything. It would be good if there would be some yet some testing without the synth to see anything, because there is quite a lot to discover here. Maybe here we can see quite a lot. There's 3 envelopes. I think it's 3 LFOs and a modulation matrix here in the middle.
I can share some screenshots with you from the app if you'd like to.
Would be nice.
Let me see.
Much nicer than this, I think.
Oh, wait.
Meanwhile,
let's
just discuss some other things from the chat. An internal power supply would be possible, but would be much more
expensive.
different.
But I think it's more related to the rules. If you you have to do a lot of CE testing if you put the power supply in the box.
It's much more expensive to get the regulations right. Yes.
Yeah, I really like to see how the sequencer works, because I've seen some LEDs jumping around on the.
We have some clicking sometimes.
Yeah,
What is this?
I don't know.
Actually, Mick, I just can confirm. I just get the confirmation from our product developers that internal power supply would just add to the costs, because every country needs to certify, and this.
Most manufacturers have moved from an internal to an external because of that. Some even offer DIY kits only because then it's up to the user dealing with power and current of any kind.
We have a little bit. What's this ticking? This talking?
Sorry, this is
the chat from the developer.
This is actually my chat. Yeah.
Okay, I think he goes nuts.
Maybe maybe a lot of people would interest. Why such powerful synths like a Cobalt-8 or Argon-8 are only monotimbral? Is there a reason, or is it a reason on the DSP, or is it because if you look back in time, you have from Novation and other companies, they are all multi-timbral, and in today's world, where the multi-timbrals digital synths?
At least dual timbral.
Yeah, this is actually a valid point, but we shouldn't forget that we are here at a price point of 650 euros, whereas the other synthesizers are much more expensive. And basically, we are offering the option to polychain Cobalt-8s or Argon-8. So you can, for instance, polychain an Argon-8 with an Argon-8M, and you can double the voices.
I assume there will be a module version sooner or later of the Cobalt-8.
Would be good.
Yeah, as I said,
and it's smaller, and since you can just
the feedback is really amazing, and of course we are looking at this. We need to back with our.
Keep it slow because it's a bit stutter sounding.
Okay, and I'm just transferring screens from the Modal app from my work computer to my private computer. So and AirDrop is totally. As I said, the feedback for M model for a Cobalt-8M or a Cobalt-8X, we hear people, we hear Modal fans, and we will look into this. Definitely, yeah.
Also, we should talk about the back from the Cobalt-8. Because it has some connections. I think I have the right one.
So we may ask if there is USB audio or USB MIDI. I think it's USB MIDI, and
it's USB MIDI
audio.
USB MIDI, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But what is pretty nice, what is also not so often seen, is you have a sync in and sync out for for your external gear.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a 3.5 millimeter spin out, an audio in that feeds external audio signals through the effects processor, MIDI in out, USB MIDI inputs for sustain, for sustain, and the expression pedal, left, right, mono, and a stereo headphone.
Why is there no through?
What do you mean?
It's a typical question I always
MIDI through.
ask. MIDI through.
The MIDI out is also working as MIDI through. Yeah, it's a soft through. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but because if you need to deal with clock signals, it's sometimes hard to deal with it.
I mean, coming back to USB audio, it's again a question how much power we are going to dedicate to the sound engine or to these things like USB audio. USB audio will just take too much power from actually the sound engine.
Okay.
So I have now the images of the Modal app, so we can have a look if you want.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, right now. Let's go.
Well, it says I need to. Wait.
You can just choose the right tab, and then lost. Okay. Maybe we have to talk a bit about.
Fine. Tom, you did a short demo. I heard some sounds that were really, really cool, and he's back. Fine. Okay, we just discussed this later.
Google asked me to confirm that I can share. So So what we see here is basically, we can see this all?
Now we
No?
can.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Ah, yeah. Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I think we
Okay.
just switch to. It doesn't work. It makes no. It's not better. Yeah, let's.
So here we see
start.
basically, yeah, all the
the
synthesis
sources.
and the modulations. So here are the modulations. You see there are fixed modulations and free and 8 free modulation slots.
Are these still on the Scalp? You had some limitations. Is it free now on the Cobalt 8?
So you have these 8 free assignable
Yeah.
modes, and you have 4 fixed.
Okay.
So these are the
it's-
most common ones that you're using anyway. So we built them actually right in. So then you see just a quick word about the envelopes. So we have actually 3 different envelopes: one for filter, one for the amplifier, and a mod envelope. And we have 8 different types, which range from snappy to. Let me just check this. I noted this down to me. I don't forget about this. So it's a snappy, a soft, a linear, and an exponential. And we have this then in a long form as well. So we have 8 different curves that allows to create very, very sharp and percussive sounds or some very long soundscapes.
That's that pull down menu on the top right of each envelope.
Yeah, it would be here, exactly.
Yeah. And there's exponential and linear and maybe more.
Yeah, exponential linear. Then we have snappy. I don't know if we see this maybe in the other screenshots. Let me just go. So this would be the preset manager where you can actually.
Yeah, it's screenshots, so we don't. We cannot click on it.
Yeah. Here we have 2 exponentials. Let me just see if I find. These are all exponentials. No, we don't have a screenshot with snappy or. Here we have a soft linear.
So there's more. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay, you can change this. Oh, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And here you see basically the different modulations. You have access to the 3 LFOs here. 2 of them are poly, and this is the mod.
How fast are the LFOs in hertz? Like 50?
The audio rate.
Yeah, audio rate means about 50, 40 or more. 60.
Well, I guess I will get the answer in a second, Mick.
Yeah, okay. Here's one of the questions I really expected to have. If you can upload another firmware to change the Argonate into Cobalt 8 and
no, that's not possible.
I think that is
it's impossible because there are differences in the internal hardware.
Okay,
so
fine.
It's
just, not just we talked last week with Tentem Music, and they have some modules, and you can change the firmware over SD card, and it becomes something different, and it's really, really cool. But this is really an actual difference in hardware, and
buy both of it. And then it's
they are actually complementing each other perfectly. Mick, I have to ask you to deliver the information about the speed of the LFO later.
Okay.
So
but I'm quite sure it's audio rate. It's not. Maybe Tom could play it if he had some sound, but there isn't any chance.
It goes very high.
Yeah.
Because there are sounds. I've made some sound demos of it where the LFOs are very high and they are not slow. Don't panic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but coming back, I mean, this is a question, of course, that we have answered quite some time today. Can I load a firmware from Argon into Cobalt and vice versa? And it's there, and it's not possible. You know.
That's yeah. Okay. That's okay.
So let's just look a little bit further. We haven't talked about the effects section. So
this would be cool. And the sequencer, would we start with the? Could we start with the sequencer before we start with the effects?
No, absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have basically a step sequencer, and we have a real-time sequencer. So step sequencer has 32 steps, and the real-time sequencer.
You can enter it via this piano roll editor.
Yes.
And on the machine itself, I've seen something like a chasing light. Is that true, or was it just coincidence? Because I had no time really to watch all the videos. Because
what do you mean with chasing light?
Like it's running from left to right, and you see the sequencer working, or is it just here? This is what we might.
Yes, yeah. So this is just
try the same.
Well, the lights are not only the buttons for example, here the octave or poly mono, but also the sequencer. So they serve 3 function or even more function in one. So if you play,
it's 64 steps. So it's
in polyphonic,
four measures long. Yeah.
And you can save second. If you go here in the fourth effect, in the shift sequencer, you can also save your sequences right in the menu here.
So you have access to multiple patterns.
Yeah, you have not only you have the patch.
Are these patterns stored separately?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Here, for example, the patch Stranger Bells, and if you go Shift and then Sequence, you get the name of the sequence, and you can choose also a different sequence, and you have also space for more sequences.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
up
really
to
important.
100.
So really,
there are up to 100 sequence memory
and
as storage places.
It says 8 measures, which would be 128 steps. Is that true?
512.
So it's even longer.
But you have 64 polyphonic steps. In polyphonic mode,
okay.
So you can have 8 notes per step.
But you can't
you shorten the measure when you need more than one note. So
there's no MIDI file support. That could be also an interesting feature.
Would you really need that in
the editor, maybe?
Yeah,
but you can edit it in the Modal app or on the unit itself.
Would be cool to have this in the app.
I really enjoyed making sequences in the editor because it's really straightforward, and I prefer it in the editor than on the device.
Let me just go back to this.
There's one.
Just go on, Christian.
if I may, so actually, there's 100 sequences that you can store within the unit. You can actually assign a sequence to any sound, you know. So, for instance, you have a bass sequence, and you want to change the sound, and you just choose a different bass patch, and you apply the same sequence from the memory. So it's very straightforward and very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's, I think it's 128 or more patterns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Available.
Major Goose is asking, is there an arpeggiator inside?
Yeah,
Yes,
there
it's
is
next to the sequencer.
Yeah.
And what we maybe...
And it's a
you have to
programmable.
move the camera a bit to see.
Yeah. And it's also a programmable arpeggiator.
And what we
So-
forgot...
Oh, you can edit the steps by yourself,
Like on the microcorg or something.
and
Yeah. And you can also we also have different play modes, so you can randomize the play mode. You can play it back and forth in the ping pong mode, or you can reverse it.
One important feature what we forget to mention is the sequencer has also this amazing function we know from Korg, the animations. So you can record parameters in 4 lanes.
In 4 lanes.
okay.
So there's
And as our friends from Tomato said, you can use the sequencer and arpeggiator at the same
along
time.
with the sequencer. And the sequencer will is the sequencer able to trigger or to control the arpeggiator or vice versa? Or is it
You can program in arpeggiators.
There's motion sequence.
Yeah.
Just to
tracks.
Just to get this just a question. So the animation lanes, this is a function that we came up with in the 002, our very first synthesizer. And so
That's
it follows us.
The wavetable one.
Yeah, so it follows us through our history. This concept. So basically, Quark took it from us, and not vice versa.
Good to know.
You are stealing from us.
Cloning.
No, they are just getting inspired. I mean, this is just
just to let you know about this beautiful
Ich hab's, ja.
earlier 00 synth. They look like this, and it had wavetables and a quite modern flat design of the graphics,
The surface, yes.
and the surface,
Yeah.
and
It was something really different
and it's British.
Maybe you can. Do you have still my video open? Maybe, Dean.
Yes.
Because I have on minute 7, 2020, I think. You see the sequencer in motion, so you hear it's quite simple sequence, but animated with reverb and other things. What is quite nice.
Polychain.
We have also different play modes. You know, gated play mode. So the sequence only plays when you are hitting a button. Then we have the gate through. So actually, the note that you are playing is mixed with the pattern of the sequence. So there are very powerful tools to really take the last, really to make very interesting patterns and performances.
Which time was?
7:28 is fine. 7:20 is fine.
So let's play it now. So this is the sequencer playing or the arpeggiator?
It's both.
Okay. So we see that light going from left to right, which is great. I think there's only the Jupiter 8 Europe expansion that does it like this.
Sounds in the final, it features 11 stereo effect.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
You can go very, very deep. If you really want to go to the extreme, you can create very extreme variants into your sound. So that's pretty powerful, this motion sequence.
Yeah.
If you are good very good in sound design, yeah.
Can you, when you record one of these parameters, you can just keep it or delete it independently, so you can. It's easy to switch between all the lanes and like this to really perform.
Yeah, you can also see it in the editor. You can exactly see the shapes you draw in the editor. And what is pretty cool, if you have now connected the editor to your to the synth, it will automatically draw the lines you're recording in the synth also in the app.
Okay. So you have
a
graphic representation on the screen there.
Yeah. So you can delete each lane within the Cobalt8 or in the Modal app. I mean, basically the sequencer and the ARP. These are these very nice functions that we brought over from the Argon8, because I mean, people love these functions, and why shouldn't we give it also to Cobalt8 users?
There are literally no differences in the envelopes for an effect and sequencer of the Argon8, or I missed something.
No, this is exactly the same.
But the effects are there are new effects, I think. Or
the effects are also the effects are basically the same. The only thing that is missing on the Cobalt8 is the overdrive.
Okay.
Okay. So speaking of the effects, you have 11 effects and you can use 3 at the same time. Is this right?
Yeah.
And
this is absolutely correct. I couldn't have said it better.
And can you change it while a sequence is running with the sequencer?
Yeah.
So you can do on one step a delay and on the other. Okay.
It's what you see in the or here in this demo on YouTube now. In the demo, the sound designer, probably Jackson, or who made the sound of this, you hear at the end that the reverb fades in.
Okay, that's something that's really.
So the effects parameters are part of the modulation.
Maybe you switch to my cam, because you can see then the effects.
Of course. Yeah.
You have here the effects, and you can change them here with the parameters.
Yeah.
So if you dry, for example, FX1 is here the rotary. You have here dry wet mix. The second is here LFO rate. The third one is vibrato, and with the shift button you come to balance, width.
But the effects are freely. There's a free choice.
Yeah. And you can use these effects. Is also the audio in.
Yeah, we have seen an audio in from Eurorack format.
So if you go shift and then audio in, you can adjust the audio in here.
Yeah. Okay. Is it just going through the effects chain, or will it go through the filters as well?
No, it's here. It's in the effects chain only.
Okay. So it's something to process your audio through the FX chain.
What is actually interesting is that you can modulate the effects as well, using all the modulation sources that you have.
Maybe there's one of those, but we really believe you when you say it works, because there are already synths that do such a thing, but it's really, really cool to assign a free envelope to any parameter. And
it's possible. Yeah.
And there's even like above, maybe there is a stepped waveform in the LFO, and that's quite handy.
Yeah, here you can in my
delay or something. Delay time.
You can see in this demo here, mod slot 4 is associated to FX2. So it can be.
That's the sense. These are.
This is the modulation matrix. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have the LFO2 is on oscillator 1 of the A parameter, on the node LFO2, and so on.
Something completely different, but what I think it's really nice to see. The layout of the synth is much more streamlined than the older ones when you compare it. Completely different, but this is something to mention. Because when you see the older models, the 00 series, that looks in the first place a little bit crowded and not so
So you talk about
this.
the
Yes.
you are talking about the user interface.
I don't think
But,
it's crowded.
That's my thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
this is quite like the Andromeda from
I really
thanks.
enjoyed.
I just wanted to mention that.
I enjoyed the display, the display with this number field. That was quite unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to peek a little bit and get the right answers.
Well, but you also have to consider we are, as I said, I mean, the development team, especially our UI designer, he's from the beginning with Mick. I hate you.
I just want to show how they are like. This is cloudy. This is a cloudy design, like this, and you do know that the Andromeda nebula, the galaxy will collide with us, and it's called Milkdromeda. Then, in I think 120 million years. So. Till then, we got this design from Axel Hartmann. And I think it's really easy because one cloud is one functionality, like these envelopes. And my camera does not...
I did
long enough cable, but
I did an interview with the guys Bitayo Yamada and program player at NAMM show, and they said they would do an Andromeda too, but the problem is actually they have not enough power resources to make it with Mock. So they would be interested to bring Andromeda back, but it cost a lot of money and.
The odd thing, there's two odd things on the Andromeda, and that's a question to you about the Cobalt 8 is the FM, everything FM won't be in you can't play it then. It's just noise, and if you raise the FM stuff linear or exponential, it will destroy, it will not allow you to play melodies. That's one thing. And what's really cool about it, you can adjust the levels, and I've not seen that on a digital synth, and it really changes a lot, and you adjust all these.
Are you referring to the mixer stage in the Andromeda, where you could mix the oscillator levels and the sub-oscillator levels?
Yeah.
I mean, of course.
There's a pre-mix, there's a post-mix.
But as far as I remember, because I was working for the German Alesis distributor at VK with this.
Because I know that of that.
I mean, at that time, the PA6 was something like 8,888 Deutschmarks street price.
Yeah, right. It's really different. But the LFOs, they could speed it up, they said, and they had to sacrifice voices for that. So they didn't do it because it's only 25 hertz. And that's the only thing I would really like to see, to have faster LFOs. On that. You can do it with the envelopes because they are fast enough, but and maybe it also refers to the Cobalt 8. Maybe if you have the number of voices, you can have twice the speed of the LFOs and envelopes.
Yeah, but I don't think that you can compare this because A6 Andromeda. First of all, it was running on A6, so that's why also the name A6.
Of course.
And these were custom-made chips that Keith Barr at that time developed together with with his synth development team. And at the time, the technology was 1999, 2000 as we came out with the Andromeda. I mean, now we are 20 years later. So we can actually, the DSP resources are much more powerful and we can really use them in many different ways. As I said, I have to give you the answer about the LFO speed later because at the moment, I simply cannot serve with that, you know.
Can I?
But going back to the FM, so what we have tried, we have tried with the algorithms that include FM is that we try to do it very musically, and
so you can key track FM sounds.
Yes, yeah, that is possible.
Okay, that's cool.
What may be interesting to hear from the marketing department or from one of the guys of Modal Electronics is how much identity is in Cobalt 8 or Argon 8 from the former team, from the first model synths, because there was a change in the company. Paula Maddox is no longer the company since several years.
She's running.
So how many
we talked about this yesterday.
Okay.
How many DNA is still inside?
So actually, Modal Electronics was founded by Philip Taysom, co-founded by Philip Taysom, and 90% of the development team of Modal Electronics is with the company since the 7 years. So that means the DNA starts with the 002 and it ends at the moment with the Cobalt 8. And I mean, you also need to think, you know, because Paula, respectively, Paul always comes up. He played his role within Modal Electronics, but designing synths is a team sport, you know. So it is not possible for one person to do all the work, to do all the user interface layout, the software design, the algorithm design, the programming, the sound design. So as I said, you know, a very dedicated team. And the good thing is that we are a small company, is that we are flexible, that we can react to customer feedback very, very fast. When you are in contact with Modal Electronics, it's very much likely that you are talking actually to the CEO or to the CTO or to the VP sales or to me directly as head of marketing, because I mean we are just a small company. We are dedicated to build synths that we like, and we hope that everybody else likes them too. And with Argon 8 and with Craftons 2, with 002, I mean, basically with all the synthesizers, we received overwhelming feedback that just gave us the confidence to go further and further and develop products that we think are unique and genuine, and nobody else is doing them.
Just one thing to the chat. You can now enter your questions because I think we are in the question section now, and
I think so.
Ask everything you need.
By the way,
was the question about there has been a question about the same sequencer and arpeggiator on the Argon 8, which is true.
That is absolutely true.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not to forget here, what we doesn't say is this twingy here, this thingy on the hardware.
The joystick.
Genau, the
The
joystick.
joystick. It's the same joystick as on the Argon 8, and you can map it to the X and to the Y and make parameter morphs.
Yeah. By the way, when we talk about this joystick, there is a video. So Enderton's this very enthusiastic UK retailer. They did an Argon 8 video and released it today. And at the end, actually, the synth guy from Enderton's is playing, and how he is using the joystick just gave me a pause, because it's so amazing. It is it is just unbelievable. Hey James, you love the joystick. Glad to hear that.
Stick of joy.
What comes to mind when talking about a joystick is vector synthesis. Would it have been possible to do that?
Yeah, it would be possible. I mean, it would be possible. As I said, at the moment, we are building platforms to go into the future, because we believe that building platforms is important to reach different synth fans. There are people that love or that are in love with FM synthesis. There are people that are in love with sample synthesis, with wavetable. So it makes, of course, sense for us, to go into these areas, I would say, and see what has been done, what can be improved, how can we raise the bar, how can we push it forward. To come up with some new creative ideas for synthesizers.
That's something that's really a key feature of Modal. I think that's a company that tries to push some boundaries and try to do some things differently. And I think the best.
Of course, and I mean. Yeah, basically, you have these companies that are very much marketing driven, so they are looking actually into the market and doing their market research, and that's all very much legit, So, and they are looking where is the spot where we can place product. We are coming from the other side. We are, a technology company, and we are doing the stuff that we like. And then we just offer this to anybody else, and if they like it, then we are happy. If they don't like it, it gives us gives us actually then the drive to wake up next morning and to develop something else.
What I really want to see is a new drum synth from Modal.
The rhythm one.
The rhythm was quite cool, but the form factor and the platin stuff was not my kind of.
Yeah, I think there are love and hate comments.
But the price was only 70. I think it was 70 euros or something.
I think so. 100. No, at the beginning it was 150 or so.
Yes,
yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
and it was a really cool stunt, and I thought it get some really possibilities to show what Modal can do. Also, then rather small synths. To show,
because there was a Modal app to it, It was actually a Modal app, so it was also working with the Modal apps. All these small things.
I think that was really important to use it, because you got access to lots of parameters, and the sequencer had its own envelopes per step. I don't have it right here, but I think I posted it when it was new. But there was not much talking about the rhythm one, which I found quite interesting.
Yes.
So maybe that's why you are asking for it. That could be
but I mean,
drum machine, maybe a drum machine in a real box.
Well,
real
the drum machine market is a very interesting one.
Still, because
because of course we are also we're also looking at all these fantastic vintage drum machines, and of course we're looking also on the analog drum machines, sample-based drum machines, the MPCs and the Lindrums and so forth. And we are haven't figured out yet what we can do to improve them and do something that is very unique to them. Because, as I said, we are a small team, but we, of course, I mean, we love samples, especially when we think about systems like Fairlight and so forth. Mm-hmm. They had so much creative potential, and we are working. We are working on that and think what could we do better. Because I mean, sampling became a little bit disregarded, because they were then just playback machines. And I think you can do so much more with samples in a creative way. And we will perhaps explore in this direction in the future. But I mean, Argon 8 was the first step. COBALT8 is the next. The next step could be something completely different. We don't know today,
I would love to see from Modal a drum machine, but instead of samples with pure synthesis.
So it's quite like an FX mode.
Because if we have all these algorithms here from Cobalt, but algorithms only for drum synthesis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that sounds interesting.
Could be something really nice.
Because I'm missing it. There are analog clones. There are somewhat kind of creations, but unique drum machines or the drum synths are not there. Or maybe there
would be enough to have just 4 voices, because you would hear the sounds because you don't have too many sounds at the same time, but you can switch to another one. And I really loved when Klavier had their Nordlied 2 out, because it had a wonderful drum mode, but then the FX mode came, which is quite cool to have. Okay, you have just one voice, but it's really used to the best. Is there any questions you should ask and post them?
Let me just, we are very blessed at the moment that we are living in a time where so many companies, not only the big ones, but also there are small companies like us, they are doing so amazing stuff, and the technology is so sophisticated in these days that we can actually build synthesizers that were 10 times the price, maybe 20 years ago.
Where are you putting them together, or is there? Can you say something about that?
Okay,
how they are produced?
The manufacturing.
The manufacturing itself and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we are actually manufactured in China, but all products are designed.
I think it's since the Scalp and the craft.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
because
correct.
I found there's a real change from the real big synth machines, more high-priced ones, and then there was a cut, and then there has been the craft synth and the craft synth.
Exactly, yeah. And as far as I understand from the conversations that I had, so we were really looking for quite some time for the right manufacturer to make sure that that we can deliver really high quality. I mean, in my time as I worked for for a company that now also builds synthesizers, I have seen I have seen their factories, and it was very impressive. There was a lot of dedication from the factory workers there in China, and they are doing quality stuff. Of course, you have always the high quality and the low quality manufacturer, but we were looking for a high quality manufacturer, and we found the right one. The return rate on Argon 8 is below 1%.
Okay.
Tom, that's a question to you. How does it feel? You treat me like you do. And
It
so on.
doesn't feel like a cheap China synth.
But
It feels really solid.
We shouldn't say China means cheap. It is,
No.
just a
By
country,
any means, no.
But
Absolutely not.
What
This
is your impression?
This is a
Your
good
real
example.
impression when pressing the knobs, turning the knobs.
Yeah,
How does it
wobbly
feel?
knobs. Show us the wobbly knobs or not.
When I'm bloody honest, and Modal knows it from myself, I'm not a big fan of these knobs. They know it from my. It's on in every review I said I'm not a fan of the knobs, but yeah, I
do
live
you
with
mean
it.
this big knob or any?
No, because I like if a knob has
They
a
are endless
Yeah.
coders.
Yeah. So first of all, these are endless digital encoders. This is really high quality stuff,
Hard to
and
get
we are
on
using digital encoders because it makes sense in digital synths, as I said before, and the lifespan of these components is much longer than you would have with analog components.
No, they know it. I like to have it always a bit more grip, but yeah, I live with it because they are okay, but not
But
my
they are
preferred
not.
one.
Are they rubberized or are they clean?
They're clean.
Yeah, these are plastic knobs.
Thankful.
There's
I
no
really hate this over the time. I have so many synths they have rubberized knobs, and they become so gross over the time. So
I just changed my old Mini Brute one with new knobs, and it feels like a new synth.
Yeah. Also, if you have painted knobs, then over the years, the paint just goes away, it fades, and
There's one.
That's not a problem, but when it gets
show.
gross, that's really, really disgusting.
This microwave, if you use these days, they get these knobs get quite they dissolve in your hands, and I've just changed them and it works again. I think it won't be like that on the Argon 8, on the Cobalt 8 as well.
No. So it's sometimes a design choice, and I get it. Rubberized knobs are quite nice in the first place, and you get a really good grip, and there are some rubberized knobs I know they could stand for many years, and there are some from some manufacturers that are okay.
What is this noise about Waldorf and
They are building their synths in at HTMT Rüffel.
Yeah. Okay.
So where Access and builds the synths. That is possible. It means that it's possible to build synths also in Germany.
Yes, of course. Yeah. That's not a thing, but it's a really big increase in time and money.
But Microbox said Arturo used the rubberish knobs. They use them because the new stuff like the new key step and the new Polybrute use new knobs, which are far better.
Okay,
so
that's fine.
Not
to blame anyone.
So just out of interest, who is still building synths in Germany?
Waldorf.
Waldorf is doing so, but not too many. Access used to produce their viruses
Super 8
in Germany as well,
or Super 6.
but we don't talk
Are they
about
still
viruses
manufacturing
these days.
them?
The Super 6 is manufactured in Germany.
Yeah, but I mean, we are looking here
the,
between 650 euros and 2,000.
Yeah, that's
How
what I
much
said.
is this? I haven't followed the price point of the UDO.
That's
thought so.
2,500 around that. So it's
2.5 grand. Yes.
Yeah.
There's a slight difference.
Yeah, there is a difference.
Is it from a developer side? Is it hard to manage to get the quality control in China? So you have a person in China who controls the synths, or how do you make this as a company? The communication between.
Usually there was a lot of traveling going on between Asia and Bristol, of course. But now since COVID hit us very hard. Since COVID hit us very hard,
the virus
we had to fight, of course, with the interruption of the supply chain. This was one of the reasons why the Cobalt, while the Argon 8X was so long delayed, because we showed it at NAMM 2020 and hoped that we could ship it in April, and then with all the mess that started in March worldwide. We didn't get the product in time, and the factory was closed in China, and it was just a nightmare.
Okay, these are things we could really understand nowadays.
But you asked me how I feel with the Cobalt 8. One of the highlights of the synth is definitely the keyboard. It's one of the best keyboards I ever played in a synth for $600 or $650.
Yeah, I mean, and this is actually our commitment. That we say we want to build synthesizers that are attractive, and I mean, it starts with the feel and with the look. I mean, you can say what you want, and you can actually crucify me at the end of the chat. But I mean, this blue color looks really sexy, right?
Look at this one. Look at this.
Yeah, and then it and then it goes further with the feel of the keypad. I mean, if you played keyboards for 20, 30 years, then you know how a right keyboard should feel. And that's why we have chosen not the most affordable, but the best playable keypad.
I think one thing to the color. It's really nice to see a blue box and a blue Cobalt one. I really love this. So
you have to know what because
there are two trends right now making established synths black and new in a new makeover and new ones in blue, and I love this blue. It looks so really sexy. You're really right.
I mean, it would have been maybe a little bit weird if we would release a Cobalt 8 in green,
Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
No, it's about the elements.
That's another question. How did Modal came up with the names? Because there are elements. So anyone sitting down brainstorming, oh shit, we have to give it a name.
I mean, you're on the right path. Of course, you try to find a place. Of course, you can also name a product with a cryptical combination of letters and numbers. But I think elements are the thing that really fits also a little bit with the type of synthesis that we are exploring, and that's why we had the Argon before. Yeah,
you can use any element except iridium. So it's
that is true. Yeah, that is true. And the others are already trademarked by us.
Any of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
The water synth.
Yeah, it is. It has to sound quite like a good one. We don't call them Führerbunker because it's not cool.
Don't say that. For everyone who loves our stuff that we do here, we are not sponsored by Modal or any other company. To make it short and clear, Tom works for his own because he makes the synth anatomy.
They don't pay me. No.
We are paying you a lot of
you make your own blog.
It's my bloody honest opinion.
You're on your own, yes.
Yeah.
And Mick does his forum and his own stuff, and the SynMag also. I work for Exploding Chat and Leaf Audio, and yes. So to make this clear, and if you want to support us, you can check this link. I will post this in chat also, so you can leave a few bucks if you like to support this, and if you like to see more of that,
or
what
ask
we do.
Us to send some money to you if you don't like it.
Don't send blankets, just send cash.
We had the last one sent us 303.03 and 8 and 909, but not yeah. There was the comma, the dot on the wrong. I don't know how to say it, but it's we really appreciate any even small
support
money.
And if you can't afford this to support us with money, support us with your likes, with your comments underneath the video. That's really important to feed the algorithms on YouTube, because they want to see if we have any engagement here. And next week we have a special one, because we have the new Norand Mono synthesizer here in our little SequencerTalk chat, and we talk about this new synth. So, enough.
Let's just show the next show.
Yeah,
like
this would be really great.
It's like this, and you can. I'd like to again, or maybe we have to mention it from here to there. We have a new channel, and it's quite new, and everything was been hosted on my account. So this is the new one, and there is only this link to reach it. Yeah, you are here, so you don't need it, but please tell anyone, and
tell it your mom, tell it your grandmother.
All the buttons you need, subscriptions, and most of our evil talking is in German, and I never say Führerbunker again. Yeah.
What we not yet talked, it will be available when? In, I think, mid-November, or?
Yeah, so we are expecting the first delivery in November.
Will it work?
Third week of November, I would say.
So Christmas present for Christmas.
It's the perfect Christmas present, yeah.
But what we maybe forget to talk is the sound designers of the presets. Are these from your internal people from Jackson, or are these external sound designers you?
Well, Jackson actually is our product specialist, and I mean, everybody within the team is designing sounds, and we have some friends as well that are not working for us directly, that are doing some sounds. Yeah, but I mean, what do you think about the sounds that are coming with the unit?
They are better, far better than on the Argon 8. Personally, I personally find the Cobalt 8 sounds fits more to the global people, so to a bigger range of people, because the Argon 8 is more, let's say not an outsider, but more unique synth, what is maybe a bit more difficult to integrate in your normal sound. It's a bit more cold, a bit more nasalish.
Nasal.
And the Cobalt 8 is more juicy, more analog style, and it's more bread and butter. But there are many interesting experimental sounds also inside.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Cobalt 8 brings a lot of fun because, I mean, there's so much to explore and so much to see and so much to hear. I can't wait that I get mine back.
What I would like to see is if the presets are more mapped to the joystick. They're only pitch and so more basic stuff. I like more presets to have it more like I turn to the up. It's then more reverb or map to reverb or a bit more this creative. What you said in the stream of Endertown, take the pitch band to a new direction.
Yeah, I mean, but he's actually doing
pitch.
What?
But he's actually doing circus tricks with the pitch band while he's playing, and it's just mind blowing. And so I just sat down and said, okay, I should never touch a keyboard again.
Hate presets, do your own stuff. So that's really a thing that I love to do if I get a new synth. Sit down, make in a patch, and start from the scratch.
Yeah.
So this is the way to explore for me a really good synth and see if I can do really cool sounds, not other people, but I really understand to use other presets and stuff or expand from that. So it would be really cool to do an follow-up to get a little bit more creative with this synth. Maybe we can get an hands-on and we will do a follow-up with Christian and hopefully
absolutely, yeah. No, it would be our pleasure to join you guys again. It was really nice and really fun.
And really German.
And really German. Yeah.
You are really right.
Yeah, Kraftfahrzeug. let's say it together. Yeah.
Synthesizer-Verarbeitungssoftware.
Ja, ist der jetzt
short little thing. I think we should mention that it's really cool to have Tom now in the stream. Thank you for making this possible to show the synthesizer and your time. That's really kind and we really appreciate it.
Worth to go straight to this website and read everything about new stuff and new videos over here. And you can guess why it's called Synth Anatomy. Tom me. Okay. Yeah.
So, and if you like to talk to us in German or English later now, after this stream, we use Jitsi to do an, we say it, a Stammtisch or a chat room, a video chat room after the stream. with all the guys here, and if you have any further questions, you can hit us there and talk with us. There.
I'm just the guy with the tape machine in its nose, and I am asking you to follow us if you are willing to speak with us, and
if you have the time and you have a cold beer, and
you can do it with water, with really clear German water as well. Okay,
he sits in Amsterdam right now, I think.
Yeah. Well, I have tea, so I'm actually on my tea.
Hopefully.
Thank you, James, as well. And
so what's next with Modal?
Yeah.
What's next with Modal?
Modal.
Oh, I guess
Cobalt8 is done.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we have so many exciting synthesizers in our lineup. Argon8 is still great. Is still a fantastic synthesizer. We shouldn't forget about that because everybody is very excited about Cobalt. Craftson's 2 actually is one of my favorite synthesizers because I mean a monophonic synthesizer with 8 oscillators in wavetable. Holy moly! This is really an amazing synth. And we are still developing for all of our hardware. And
but you don't tell anyone what is going on at the factory or at the lab.
No, I don't, because I mean, I just love how people are getting excited, and I don't want to steal this from them.
What do you expect? He's the master of marketing and
nice words.
You know the game. We don't get any of these answers, but we tried.
But
of course,
we know now. We had a wavetable synth. We had now a virtual analog synth. So maybe the next one will be FM
sample
or yeah. Because
as I said, there is so much out there, and we are really happy that we are in this industry and can basically live our dream, building synthesizers. I mean, that's just fantastic, or?
Yeah, analog.
Cool. I think we are done for today, and did I post? I think so. If you like, join us on Jitsi on our SequencerTalk chat room, and we will see us next week, I think. Thank you for the great chat.
On Tuesday we will see what you have.
Thanks very much.
The French. This time it is French synth, and that will be.
Are you doing the chat then in French?
No. We don't.
I could it, and then I'll translate it.
Not much more confusion.
You only need red wine. Then everything is fine.
It's like talking to a barbarian.
To a Klingon. Yeah, never try.
Okay, but guys, thanks very much. Thanks very much for the invitation. Thanks very much for a lot of fun that we had over the last 2 hours. It was a pleasure. We are coming back if we are allowed to get in again.
Hopefully.
And we really appreciate your time. Tom, thanks so much for everything that you have done with the video, and that was great.
And since we are German, it's not really 2 hours. It's just 1 hour and 57 minutes, and we have to stop now.
Okay.
Okay.
We say bye-bye.
Bye.
Until next week.